Hello and welcome back. Today we're continuing our series looking at the top 10 breakout fantasy players from 23-24. Almost all of the players on this list have played 3 seasons or fewer in the league, and all of them have taken big strides in that time to become fantasy relevant depending on your league format and size. Today we're looking at a player that everyone was calling a bust just 10 short months ago, and that's obviously Alexis Lafreniere. This past season, Lafreniere was moved from left wing on the third line to right wing on the top line with Panarin and Trocheck. The Rangers had a glaring need for a right winger and an abundance of depth on the left, so they chose their former number 1 overall pick to make that switch. This resulted in immediate success and saw Lafreniere finish with career highs in every statistical category except for maybe hits and plus minus, as he tallied 28 goals and 57 points in 82 games. Those numbers are relatively impressive, but the key for me is that after trying the likes of Jesper Fast, Colin Blackwell, and an abundance of other depth wingers with Artemi Panarin, they finally found someone who could unlock the hidden potential in the breadman's game. Panarin broke out for a career-high 120-point season, finishing just shy of the Rangers' single-season record of 123 set by Jaromir Jagr. We do have to mention the play of Vinny Trocheck in all of this, who was exceptional and finished as a top 5 fantasy player in terms of completeness. But the impact that Lafreniere had is also noticeable. So as we turn to his player hub, one thing that you'll notice is his increase in shot volume. So you look at 23-24, he's 92nd percentile with 2.65 shots per game. You take that back to last season, he's at 1.67, so he added 1 shot per game to his volume, which is definitely a reason for that increase in goals from 16 to 28. Now, he did drop his hitting totals from 1.74 down to 0.89, which is a noticeable jump downward, but what that does show me is that he has that in his game, and he kind of just focused on more of the offensive parts of his game this year, which is something that everybody was criticizing him for. So he found a part of his game that was weaker, improved that, but he still has that hitting in his DNA, and that will likely come out in the future. The impressive thing with Lafreniere is always the fact that he sees almost no power play time. This past season, he saw an average of a minute 17 per game on the power play, but that was usually the last 30 seconds of the power play after the top unit got tired. Now, this means that he does most of his work at 5-on-5, and it shows. His 42 points at 5-on-5 were 43rd in the league, ahead of guys like Sam Reinhart, Roman Josi, Cale Makar, Sebastian Aho, Matthew Tkachuk, and many more. In the playoffs, that trend got even more noticeable as he finished 6th in 5-on-5 scoring behind 5 Edmonton Oilers, and his 7 playoff 5-on-5 goals were 2nd behind only Zach Hyman. The good news is that this line that he's on will stay together next year, so you can expect similar production levels offensively. The bad news is the power play will still likely not feature him on the top unit. It may. He certainly broke out in a big way this playoffs, and he's shown that he can be on that top unit, but they've been together for almost 5 years, and they're not likely to get split up. If he were to get that power play time, I'd be very optimistic about Lafreniere as a potential point-per-game player. But without that time, he probably slides in your fantasy draft outside the top 8 or 9 rounds, and at that point, he becomes value. But that's going to do it for this video, trying to keep these short and sweet. Keep your eyes peeled for number 7 on our list in the coming days. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.